you should realize that members of other service clubs will actually join us, right? So I see it in my club where members of lodges will join the service club. So you have some lodges today who may still be men only, and also their mandate doesn't allow them to do youth projects. So they're looking for more to do. They're kind of bored with the way they do things, and they're primed for the picking for Optimist clubs, right? So we need to spread the word, because if we don't spread the word, we will be like some of those organizations that continue to shrink and shrink and shrink. So our vision is to have 100,000 members by our 100th anniversary. So people like past international president J.C. Boone used to say, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Does anybody remember J.C.? He needed a stool also, right? And our current president, Jim, says, together we can. So when we join together with others, we can accomplish so much as optimists. Let's see if I can get back on track. Because I had some really good points. I want to tell you a little bit more about Habitat for Humanity. And what I want to pull on here is, you hear a lot of people say millennials, and there's a few of them in the room, right? Millennials don't join.
BS.
And that's true, Marlene. It is BS. You and I finally agree on something.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing. So, when Gina and I do Habitat for Humanity projects, we either lead teams or we join teams. We led a team to Cambodia a couple of years ago. We were building toilets. That was maybe prophetic in itself. But we had 3 or 4 millennials on our team, right? And some of these people, these kids, these young adults, right, go out and fundraise. How much do you think they have to fundraise to join one of our teams? $2,000, kind of minimum, to join a Habitat team. Then $1,000 for your airfare. Then if you want to do any traveling on the side, on top of that, right? And they have no problem doing it. They're cause driven to a certain degree. And what do we do as optimists? We have causes, right? So we have to change our thinking a little bit, and not always think that, hey, only gray hairs want to join our clubs. So it's not the case, right? And we also shouldn't think that all those young people, they all know how to use smartphones, and I don't know how to use a smartphone, and well, I kind of minimally know how to use a smartphone. But there's so much we can learn from each other. And when we go on these Habitat trips, I'm doing the Donald Trump thing now. Okay. When we go on these Habitat trips, it is amazing to see young people and not so young people working side by side. So when we have a team of, let's say, 16 people, 15 of them could form an Optimist club, right? But we have 16 people and we have to pair them up in rooms. And you get to the point sometimes where the pairing means I have Marlene, who I'll say is on the representative of the not so young side, and Cassie, who's on the younger side. And somehow they get stuck in a room together and you think, oh, this is not gonna work, right? And they bond so well. They are just like, almost like mother and daughter kind of thing, a good mother and daughter, right? And they work so well on a team. So these are concepts that we can use in optimism, right? And the reality is millennials will join if you have a reason for them to join. And they may not want to come to your dried chicken Monday night meeting every other week or whatever. So just come to terms with that. Come to grips with that. Maybe change it up, and maybe you like hamburgers and beer also, and you could, just change the venue a little bit. So these are really important things for us to grasp. Yes, retention is very important. If not for retention, this room might not be nearly as full as it is. But look outside the box. When I was in Winston-Salem last week, here's what they said: there is no box, right? There is no box. When somebody says to you, Cassie can't join because she's not 18 yet, there's no rule about that. I learned that from Marlene. 2 things we agree on. I learned that from Marlene last year in, where was the international last year? Quebec City, right? So if you have a 16-year-old who gets along with your club, who helps you out with things, ask them to join. They can join an adult club. all the bylaws say is adult of good character. What's an adult? You know, think outside the box.
Depends on what country you're in.
You know, and the same thing if you're a younger club, don't be afraid of the gray hair, right? Think outside the box. So it's really important. Benny Ellerby told us last week, there is no box anymore, right? You can do what you need to do. I mean, yes, you still have to pay your dues and all of those things. The box is still there. You know, there's a small box in the middle. But all I want to say to you on behalf of Jim and on behalf of the organization, and I'll bring it to a close now, is that we have such wonderful programs, such wonderful people, and that is why people will join us. So do not be afraid ever to ask someone to join. When we were in Michigan a few weeks back, someone at the front desk joined the Optimist Club at the quarter board meeting, right? From that sprung an initiative to build a club in Ghana that's already been built. So it's a wonderful opportunity. The organization is great. Don't ever think it's not. If you get bored like I did, just look afield and come back. And that's really all I have to say to you on behalf of the organization. It's great to be here, Tracy. Last time I was here was like a dozen years ago, and it's great to see faces that I recognize the face, not necessarily the name. I don't, you know, so Jean and I are happy to be here, and we're happy to come back anytime. We know that you may be sitting at number 11 right now, but number 1 is on your back. What is it, with a bullet or something like that?
Is a bullseye on my back?
Okay. So thank you all for listening to me. I missed a couple of pages in my notes. Thank you.